Good morning, MMTs. It's a fine day today, 2/15/2011. Hope everyone enjoyed their Valentine's Day and whatnot and got out and just maybe if you did anything, a little people watching. That's what we do here every day. And what do? We use our market maker platform to guide us through the journey. And what is that journey? That's called the public journey. Today, we have a 2.84 ratio gap on DGIT, CLDA 1.9 ratio, NSIT 1.92 ratio, and well, look at here, MERC 1.25 ratio. This is a diminishing gap ratio pre-market on the NASDAQ comp here and now. On the other hand, let's take a look at the opposite, which would be a gap ratio down. NFLX 3.81 ratio gap down. FOSL 3.01 ratio gap down. The bull has a ratio gap down pre-market 215. Time is 6 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Here we go. Once we do come down there, MMTs, what you're going to be looking for is that quick bounce where the short sellers of the public short sell tape, what they always like to do is short the low end of the bottom on that left elbow on the gap down list. Okay? And then the market makers like you that walk that thing up and walk them shorts out for a profit, you would be taking the profit and then letting it roll over Beethoven. So y'all understand that for sure. And the thing about it is when you do come down on the left elbow side of that gap down in that price action is where that market maker starts to take the opposite side and walk that dog up and walk the shorts out of the gap down. That's what it's about, MMTs. And how will you know that? You'll know that by looking at your MMT platform. That I can promise you. Okay, let's move on this morning in pre-market and take a look on the NYSE gap open up list. And what I'm going to do once again is put this in the right column and hit the ascending button. I need to make that a default. So basically we got CRM gapping up right now. We have KV.A, KV.B, MAR, CFX, X still gapping up. Commodities have been hot lately because, you know, once again, that same trade, all of that same kind of activity that was happening back in 2006 that led up to the 2007 tops, that is, in those hot commodities and oil stocks, and money has been trying to find a place. The NYSE Euronet directors would get about 7 slots on 17-person board. We have a major exchange merger going down today with the NYSE as well. That's some headline news. With the options expiration in play, we're going to be looking at the call side versus the put side, and where do those buyers come in? But more importantly is what's going to be the catalyst. We've had some economic data out this morning. We've got the big merger this morning. We have lots of things going on. So now CME is going to be making a statement too this morning, just so people know on that. And we'll do a different one about that whole exchange model making their changes. So on the NYSE, that's what we have there. And we're going to be taking a look today in every key sector. We're going to be taking a look at that gold and silver area. We're going to be taking a look once again at these hot commodities, that CRX.X index, and where that index is and where it might break out. The Deutsche Bank Energy Index, same thing, DXE.X. Morgan Stanley Services, again, we're going to be looking at some of these key indexes and where they're at, so that if that Humpty Dumpty trade gets back on in there and we start breaking higher, just remember it'll kill the consumer. But hey, that's the way the trade's going to go. So be it. We take for what it's going to give. So we're going to be monitoring all the various different things, and that's the one we're going to be monitoring. This S&P banking today is going to be important, and so is the KBW banking, because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take those to be able to get up to that 1340 handle, which is one of my price targets on the S&P 500 currently. Another thing is in that hot commodity trade is looking at these fertilizers and seeing where they're at on the monthly level. And restaurant stocks are really overbloated. That CMG, we've already been shorting that in pre-market, right when pre-market opened up. That's called the power shorting pre-market. And that's a whole different subject. But once again, it's on the gap down list. It was downgraded again. And remember, the Netflix upgrade yesterday morning was all about $316 upgrade target. That stock had a huge move. That stock will come up off the bottom. Look for a 55 or lower reading in the IR MMTs. If it's the opposite way and we are thromboning above 75 for a period of time stamp under your MMT info panel column called IR range column, that means that once again for the new MMTs that there is price action stability and price action momentum building to make another move higher so that you can make a market with the public transaction and come out with your MMT profits. Therefore, it's going to be a nice day. It's an options expiration. And we're just going to be hunting around a little bit, but these are some of the key ones we're going to be looking at. Another key one that is going to happen as well is in the Dow Jones components here is that Dow Jones transportation. We're going to see what these are doing today as well. And same thing on the NASDAQ transportation. And the industrial average is, we're just going to be taking a look here at some of these names just to see where that bigger money is in some of these bigger names here, because they're all tied in. S&P 500 and 100 in the Standard & Poor. The S&P 100 is going to be very important to monitor today. There's the NYX gapping down 1.74. We will have people assigned to trading that one off the bottom. FCX, commodity related stock, left elbow gap down right along with that. Amazon is in here. And so this is all red. What we're going to be carefully looking at is where that S&P 100, where those big money corporations in the U.S. are, and how you're going to make some coin off of these trades. So that one here, NYX, will be the best one. Have a good day. Watch the TQQ Bull pre-market update. Pre-market update is to make a market in this wonderful 2011 February options expiration. Will be number 2 count for 2011 year. We had our January one, and we know how brutal the call side got popped from where the broader part of the public pricing was compared to the wholesale pricing that you MMTs are here to do and get. And the brain will tell you how to do that. So it's important to know today, in the second day of expiration, is looking at the broader mix of consolidation within the overall index highs, so that it becomes very clear as to where that public engagement, what does that equal? The public transaction dollar-wise is going to be in the marketplace. So thereafter, you make a market MMT.